With the purchaser, yeah.
I wrote him a note. I really like that guy. I really do.
Four p.m. Can we do roll call? Everybody is here except for Marcia, as we knew would happen. All right, so welcome everybody. And recognitions, we don't have anyone here today. Okay, well, we still thank them though for their service to the college. Section 3, approval of the minutes. Does anybody want to approve or change the minutes from the special meeting on September 15th? That was our retreat.
Move approval.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. We have a second. Craig's a second.
And I just wanted to point out, I gave some typo types of things to Angie.
Okay, nothing substantive. Okay, cool.
Not that I
Good.
can think of, yeah.
Cool, thank you. Anybody else? All right, do we want to vote on the minutes? Yes? Everyone voting yes?
Do we have a choice?
I don't know what happens when we vote no.
Do them again, I guess.
We've never done that.
No, we haven't. All
We like minutes.
right, so everyone voting aye?
Aye.
Nay? Cool, minutes passed. All right, public comment. We have one from Cornelia.
Oh,
Good afternoon, honorable members of the Board of Trustees, President Aboud, Dr. Bibi. I just wanted to give you a brief report today about a conference which my FA colleague Sally Sanger and I attended in beautiful San Diego last weekend. As you know, the Faculty Association is an independent collective bargaining agent. That means we do not belong to one of the larger unions in the state like CFT or CTA. Being independent is kind of the exception statewide, but actually it's not that we are a rare animal. About 15 of the 72 community college districts in California do have independent bargaining agents, and in order to have a collective voice, about a dozen years ago, we founded the California Community College Independence, or short CCCI, and that is the conference we went to. We meet twice a year, once in the south and once in the north, to give members an opportunity to share what is going on at their home campuses, to report about progresses and successes, or about stumbling blocks in their local work so that we can ask for advice from our peers. We also hear presentations about labor law and also what is going on statewide, as our group is represented at the Consultation Council in the Chancellor's Office, and our leadership regularly speaks to members of the Board of Governors and the state legislators. Hence, this is also an opportunity for us to hear about new legislation which affects community colleges. So, again, I learned a lot from other association leaders around the state, and for sure, I quizzed every one of them on my new hot button item, efficiency. And I will surely share all of those new insights once we have discussed them with my FA colleagues. But there are two things I really wanted to share with you today. First, the community college chancellor came and talked to us for a question and answer. And not only did I get to snag a celebrity photo with him, but once he learned that I come from Santa Barbara, he was really excited to tell me that he just got to hire a great new vice chancellor from Santa Barbara, our very own Alice Paris Sharper. And I know I'm not telling anything new here today, but that was really funny that he really wanted to share this news with me. And a little later into the conference, when we heard reports about what is going on statewide, the CCCI vice president reported that he regularly goes to the Reclaim Higher Ed coalition meetings, and that there always is this one trustee coming up from Santa Barbara who is really doing great work and is very engaged, and his name is Jonathan Aboud. So I just wanted to confirm, whenever Jonathan reports here about the work he is doing statewide, it definitely does not go unrecognized statewide and in Sacramento. thank you for letting me share this brief report, and I will email that celebrity photo later.
Nice. Thank you, Cornelia.
Thank you.
All right, Section 5, Communications. And first up is report from Academic Senate, Dr. Priscilla Butler.
Good afternoon, members of the board and Dr. Beebe. First, I wanted to express appreciation on behalf of faculty for the board's decision to hold a special meeting on Tuesday and to repeal BP 1300 and 3150. Re-examining an issue, as one of the trustees stated, does take courage, and we recognize and appreciate that courageous decision. At yesterday's Senate meeting, the Senate took 2 actions related to these policies. The first is in the form of a resolution, and the resolved clause reads, resolve that the SBCC Academic Senate supports the action of the SBCC Board of Trustees pardon me, to repeal BP 1300 and BP 3150. In addition, the Senate approved a motion outlining faculty's endorsement of our role in moving forward. That motion reads, the Senate President and Senate leadership will consult with administration about setting goals regarding college size and efficiency and determine the appropriate documents in which they will appear. These may include the Educational Master Plan and/or an Enrollment Management Plan. These recommendations and the specific goals will come back to the Senate and the Faculty Association for review, modification prior to approval, and before the end of the fall semester. They will next progress to CPC and then to the board for review. We are keenly interested in working with our campus colleagues in order to clarify and put in writing goals that will help the college and further our mission and vision while retaining financial strength. I would also like to take this opportunity to clarify some information that was stated at the last 2 board meetings, which may be of general interest to the public or to others who follow these meetings. As an educational forum for our community, it will be helpful to have information about certain foundational matters for our college. And there are 4 broad areas I'd like to cover, but it won't take that long. So first, the largest source of funding for California community colleges comes from the state in the form of general fund dollars. Second, as open access institutions, we must accept all applicants within the state of California. We cannot process applications in order of who is local and who is not. Third, and this one's going to take a bit more time, we have many programs which do provide extra services to local and/or underrepresented populations, and the number's more than 50, so I won't talk about all of them, but I'd like to highlight 10 really briefly. First, enrollment services goes out to all local high schools, and students have access to on-site assessment and enrollment information and support. Academic counseling has an assigned counselor to work with each local high school, and that dedicated individual provides support and cultivates strong relationships with these schools. The EOPS program provides academic support, financial assistance, and encouragement to financially disadvantaged and academically underprepared students. Guardian Scholars is a comprehensive program that supports former foster youth who are attending SBCC. The Orfala Early Learning Center provides childcare for children of eligible students. The CARE program provides educational resources for single parents. Running Start is a 6-week summer bridge program to aid local high school students in transitioning smoothly to college life. Transitions provides guidance and support for students who were formerly incarcerated. Most recently, the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Cultural Competency has organized a food pantry and food share program that serves hungry students. And of course, I probably don't need to mention the 10th, but our SBC College Promise is a very special program as well. My last point is about the budget challenges we face. There are many California community colleges which are currently experiencing serious budget challenges. SBC is not alone in this. These include Allen Hancock to the north of us, which reports a steady decline in enrollment over the last 4 years. And geographically bounded colleges are hardest hit. For example, Reedley College, further north, has experienced a 35% drop in enrollment between the peak year of 2009-10 and 2016-17, dropping from 11,467 full-time equivalent students to 7,465 full-time equivalent students. The faculty are fully aware of the budget challenges we face. As I mentioned in my report on Tuesday, the faculty have been actively involved in our efforts to address these challenges. Faculty serve on the College Planning Council, the Budget Resource Allocation Committee, the Senate Subcommittee Planning and Resources, and have contributed many hours to the CPC Plus work groups that were convened last year. Our college processes work, and our employee groups, faculty, staff, and administrators have worked well together to address the issues we face. The initial October 2016 projection of a $9 million deficit in 17-18, rising to a $20.8 million deficit in 2021, have largely been turned around. Current projections, last presented to the board in August 2017, show that our efforts as outlined will lead to a balanced budget by 21-22. We know that is not enough. We want to continue to work together to make additional improvements, and we greatly appreciate your faith in our internal systems to address these identified needs. Again, thank you for your vote on Tuesday and for your commitment to support the mission and vision of our institution, including its shared governance processes, which are a cornerstone of how we operate in both prosperous and challenging times. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Priscilla? Peter?
I want to encourage you to be as broad as and inclusive as you wish to be. And it seems to me one possible way of doing that would be to submit a written copy of your comments so that we could have the data and have the specifics of your comments to ponder, perhaps to discuss more fully. It's just a thought that rather than trying to rush through your talk in the prescribed amount of time, you just take your time and give it to us in writing. And I don't know, some of us actually read, it's a good thing.
I'd be happy to send my comments to Angie after this
Good.
meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. It would help instead of us scribbling down notes.
Sure. Thank you.
But if we're listening instead of trying to write down so we don't forget key points, we're more apt to retain it
Yes, I understand.
more quickly. I once had a college professor, he wouldn't allow his students to take notes in his classrooms. I never, hey, it worked.
David?
I just wanted to thank you for your comments and for enlightening us on the diverse programs that we have on campus. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Report from Associated Students, Josh Villanueva.
Good evening, Dr. Beebe and members of the board. It's a pleasure for me to be able to report on the recent progress of the ASG. Over the past month, the new members of the ASG have been settling into their new positions. This includes expanding ourselves to 18 college-wide committees, growing our number of internal committees to 10. The ASG in the past month has put on more of an emphasis on community outreach. We are helping to provide a demo involving ice cream to explain some of the characteristics of thermodynamics and boiling temperatures for some of the Young Women and Girls, Inc. Additionally, we have made a presence at the Youth Mayoral Candidates Forum held at the Lewis Lowry Davis Center. We held a successful legislative town hall, and we will be helping to put on an Isla Vista Fall Festival, which is set to happen November 4th. We have a packed schedule for next month, including a trip to a statewide conference in Sacramento to vote on student issues and a faculty colloquium on space exploration. I know that Craig had asked about our involvement in helping to alleviate some of the issues in Isla Vista at last month's meeting. And as of now, our Isla Vista representative has acknowledged a decrease in crime in the past 2 years and is on a trend for the better. Even though we are heading in a good direction, there are still infrastructure problems such as the minimal street lighting, minimal sidewalks, dangerous automotive traffic, and the rising tide that erodes the houses on Del Playa. The ASG Isla Vista Committee is set out to attend an orientation on November 8th for an initiative that will hand out Isla Vista packages, which will provide crucial information for students and residents about health and safety tips, housing and tenants' right information, and good neighbor tips and community guidelines. Some of the initiatives by our Isla Vista representative, Josh Oken, are to meet with the Isla Vista Tenants Union, meet with the Safety Committee, the Isla Vista Safety Committee, and further the plans for the Isla Vista Safe Space. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Any questions for Josh?
Same
Peter.
comment. You had a lot of information. And I think for speakers who are presenting a lot of information and reading their notes, it might be a really useful thing to do, to just share those notes so that we can pay full attention to what you're saying. And maybe it might even be liberating for you if we had those notes ahead of time, because that way you'd be able to focus on the things that you really want to care about and talk about. Just a thought.
Craig?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for addressing those issues, especially in Isla Vista. It's kind of near and dear to my heart. I would encourage you, unless I missed it, I was listening. I didn't take notes. But I was wondering I was going to suggest that you might want to set an appointment for a meeting with Lieutenant at the Isla Vista Foot Patrol and listen to what his concerns are and think about yours and see how they coincide and see if you agree with the perceptions that they might have. And I think that might help. We have a lot of students out there, not as many as before right now, but in the years to come, when if the economy goes down, our enrollment goes up, we're going to get more students again. And if we can, it's more manageable if we can make some inroads in relationships and set some precedents. Maybe we can make it better for the future. And that's my goal anyway. And I would encourage you to do that when you have time and not at the expense of your studies. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Report from classified employees. Liz?
Good afternoon, members of the board, Dr. Beebe. We had a meeting last week. I'm doing the timing because of what happened this week. And at our classified consultation group meeting, we started talking about BP 1300 and spent most of our meeting on that and on 3150. I bring this up because classified have been fairly quiet on this topic, even though we haven't really felt quiet about it. We haven't made public comment until now, but our meeting was extremely intense and lively. We have a very good group on our consultation committee this time, and people were very concerned, especially about 1300. We have staff that deal directly with students, and the students were very concerned, very confused. We still want to know exactly what do we want to be as a college. That question still keeps coming up. But when we do that, we need to be as clear as possible, and 1300 wasn't clear to us. We just didn't understand exactly what it is you wanted to do. I have been a student here. I've been a staff member for 28 years. I've taught here. I have a nephew here now. I've had siblings come here. To me, that's very local. I mean, to me, I've gone to continuing education classes. To me, we've always focused very locally, so to me, I didn't quite understand exactly the reason why you needed that. And the group was kind of that way too. And I wanted to share it. It's kind of after the fact, but we appreciate the fact that you did rescind it and move forward from there. And as far as 3150, I've been to committee meetings all the time. I've been to CPC, I've been to Planning and Resources of the Academic Senate, I go to the budget, and it seems to me we're already working on these things. I mean, I'm not sure that you really need to have an actual policy because we're doing it already. I mean, the 15,000 is what all of the budget information talks about. The efficiency, I was at Planning and Resources, they talk about that. They try to understand what they need to do. They're going in that direction. So I feel I'm glad that you rescinded them because I don't know if they're really necessary because we're doing those things. So I just wanted to report that we are interested as classified staff. And I don't have any notes to give you, Peter. I didn't write mine out, so I couldn't give it to you ahead of time.
The only way I didn't write it.
Not needed.
Okay. Any question?
Thank you, Liz. All right, report from President Beebe.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. You may know that October is Filipino American Month. And I tell you that because this afternoon I had a wonderful opportunity to join with Mayor Helene Schneider and the Vice Mayor of San Juan, Philippine Islands, and for lunch. And we had a wonderful time. We had a small delegation there from the Philippine Islands, too. And they're going to be touring the college next Monday, I guess, and we'll give them a nice tour. They're very interested in education and some linkages that we might be able to have with that. Special treat and interest for me since my grandmother was Filipina. My father was born in Zamboanga, immigrated here in the early 1900s, and so I was real happy to be able to be involved with that group. We have about 400 Filipinos in Santa Barbara, if you didn't know. I mean, it's not a large group, but you know, it's a mighty group. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update on that. Second thing I wanted to talk about is the SBCC sustainability plan, and I've printed it out and put it at your position. This is really a substantial document and one that I want to make sure that you're aware of because we're working on wanting to update this and also recommit to it. There have been lots of things that the college has already been doing in support of this, whether it's permaculture projects or the food bank that was mentioned earlier, some of these kinds of things. Adam Green and others are really taking a significant lead with this, but the folks that are taking the biggest lead are the students, and that's what makes this really special. And compliments to folks that worked on this. This was completed in 2014. Dr. Lori Gaskin did an excellent job of helping facilitate the lead on this, and this is a beautiful document and one that I want to be able to continue forth with. So I wanted you to have that. And then my last item for my report has to do with the amazing professionals that we have at Santa Barbara City College, and you all know that. And because we do have amazing folks here from time to time, they are selected to fulfill roles that are larger than they may be fulfilling here at the college, impacting a greater number of folks. And this is the case for Dr. Alice Perez. And as Cornelia pointed out, Alice, who is the Dean of Educational Programs for Arts and Humanities, has been asked to join the State Chancellor's Office as the Vice Chancellor for Ed programs there. This is a very special relationship that we're going to have with the State Chancellor's Office in having an interjurisdictional employee, what they call an interjurisdictional employee with the State Chancellor's Office. And so the way that works is that Alice, because she has a home here in Santa Barbara, wants to stay here in Santa Barbara, but also wants to be able to work in on state chancellor projects and will be commuting to Sacramento. She's going to be working here on campus in a space that we're going to be providing for her. This is one of the elements of the HR agenda items that you'll be approving today. But I'm so proud of Alice. This is a great opportunity for her, and it's a great opportunity for the state of California and community colleges in general for her to be able to contribute, a vast amount of information and wealth of knowledge. So I'm very happy for her. And she'll still be connected to us as always, so kind of nice. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Anthony. Any questions for Anthony? Marty?
Just about the sustainability plan, you said you want to get it updated. Are there any other details on that right now, or?
Well,
is it just something you
what I
wanna do?
really would like to do is be able to give you a really nice report on all of that. Like I said, we've done the food bank, we've done other things that are not in here since this has been completed. And I want to be able to, kind of list all of those things and have folks that have been involved with that. I mean, the new building, for example, is LEED Silver. What does that mean? What is that doing? And some of the other things that are going on. So I want to get it up to speed and work it through the various governance groups first. I want the CPC feedback and input on it. I want us all to be able to understand where we are and then be able to talk about where we're going with it.
I think that's really great.
Thank you.
Because we were proud of it when it happened. I remember that, but.
It's
then-
really
and
fantastic.
It's good to know that it's all happening, too.
Yep.
Because you hate to spend a lot of time on a plan that doesn't go anywhere. So this is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Craig?
As one who used to sit on the facilities committee when we had a facilities committee, and some of us did sit on that committee, and we spent many hours going through the issues. And when the last building was proposed and it was going to be LEED certified and all this, but we haven't really had any specific feedback telling it, the progress, how it's been, are they accomplishing that, and, how's it going? And we're getting some information, but not the details. And maybe that's okay, but at this point where we're nearing completion, it would be nice to hear some details on that.
We'll do it.
So just a communication to you.
Appreciate.
Any other questions for Dr. Beebe? All right, thank you. All right, reports from board members. I'll go last in legislative, but let's do K-12 first.
So contact with Carpentria Unified School District, and it just got confirmed, Peter, which is why I haven't invited you yet, but I hope to invite Peter in on that. Not that Marianne wouldn't be welcomed, but they have a new superintendent. I looked through her goals, and her goals are to partner with us, which was really easy for this committee because she immediately is eager and excited, and looking through some of the priorities of Carpentria Unified, they align very nicely with our priorities. So I think that'll be a good partnership. So we'll be in touch, Peter.
Anything else, Marianne?
I've been working at the other end, that is Isla Vista and Goleta, and meeting with educators and talking about the Promise program and the whole pattern of college attendance from those two communities, not from Isla Vista UCSB, but from the point of view of the Isla Vista community. It's very exciting, and they are very excited about the participation they have had from Dr. Beebe and others. Apparently, I'm just trailing in his footsteps.
Cool. SBCC Foundation.
Yeah, the foundation meets next month. We all had a wonderful time last night at the Garvin patio. And so just continue to shout out to them for their service and then their dedication. And save the date for April 20, it's on my calendar.
Maybe?
The 28th, I want to say the 28th.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so get ready to, whatever sponsorship opportunities they may have, but we will be there. So yeah, the foundation continues to grow. I'm sure Jeff, he shared last night some new gifts that came into the foundation, which are really exciting, exceeding $2-3 million. And, you know, again, he says this is not like it's everyday things that happen, but this is just a long-time commitment of people in our college community that have maintained and cultivated these relationships, and I think that that's something to continue to be proud about. So thank you to the foundation. And those of you that were there, I mean, I'm sure you got to connect with other folks.
It was a nice event, very nice.
And you're right, it is April 28th. Save the date.
Good memory. All right, community partnerships ad hoc. Peter.
Well, I think I reported about that last time, that we're waiting for feedback from the whole group as to what sorts of partnerships we should be exploring. But this past week, I did have a chance to go and represent the college at the Lou Grant annual fundraising event, and it was a garden party. And several things occurred to me during the conversations that I had, one of which was that very few knew that Santa Barbara City College was actually the sponsor of the parent-child workshop process writ large, as well as in particular the Lou Grant event. So I think we have some work to do in terms of putting a banner up that says, I don't know, SBCC or something close to that. But it was a great event, and the subject of conversation most frequently heard was what a wonderful idea it was to provide a promise program for Carpinteria students in particular. They thought that this was a very insightful and much needed thing to do, because it provides opportunity where none existed before for some students. And so that was, I became very popular once I identified myself as a City College trustee.
Craig.
I don't need to repeat anything you said. That was good, Peter. I think that you and I and Jonathan should have another little meeting. I have a couple of rough ideas that I'd like to see if we could feather them out to make them, turn them into something that's actually doable, and you know, maybe help us in our efforts to focus in some areas. So like the ad hoc subcommittee group, we could probably do that again soon.
I'm pleased to call a meeting of that group, but I think it would be really helpful if, I think where we got stuck was in contemplating the sorts of partnerships that might be really helpful. And so if any of you have suggestions along those lines, that becomes our agenda, and I'd be delighted if that were to happen.
Should we agendize a discussion on community partnerships for our next meeting?
I think it would be premature unless,
Yeah.
you know, maybe we should have a gathering first and have something to report back.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Maybe we could just start with some emails and get a conversation rolling, and then, because there's no sense in taking a lot of trouble to go somewhere and sit down and not really and then have to start from scratch introducing raw ideas. So I'll forward some crazy ideas I have and see what you guys think.
Sounds good. Marty, do you have anything?
Oh, I'm just going to be going to hear Dr. Kerry Matsuka, is that how you say his name?
Matsuoka.
From the superintendent of the K-12 schools. Next Wednesday, he's going to be doing the state of the schools, and I can report back, but I think that's a really good way for us to find out about what's happening in the schools, especially the administration of them.
Good idea.
I'll report on the mitigation ad hoc committee. We had a lively meeting last time we met, and we were discussing, housing is one of the big issues we're discussing in that committee. And we didn't reach a for sure conclusion because we identified some more research we needed to have done. So we'll meet again once that's done and report to the board. We were supposed to report to the board probably at this meeting, but we found some new opportunities of things to look into. So once we have those solidified, we'll come back to the board. And then legislative committee, or committee of one. One great thing that I was wondering if this has happened after the last board meeting. I'm pretty sure it did. But Assembly Bill 19 passed, which provides the opportunity to provide 1 free year of community college everywhere. So it's not like an automatic thing, but it's a new program that the state has instituted that can, I'm not sure how that's going to help our Promise funding, but if the state's going to put money in, that's something to know how that's going to work.
We've got, I know that Jeff Green reported out a little bit about that last night at the foundation event, and he indicated that it's going to help by about 17% of the overall funding picture related to what we're currently expending for the Promise program. So there's still a big gap. There's still a big gap, a need gap that the local Promise program and the foundation College Promise program is going to be filling. And so it's not the silver bullet, in terms of being able to provide free education for all across the state. So it's a start. It's a good step.
Helps us out a little bit.
It helps us. You bet.
Excuse me, I understood it to be not a new program, but a renaming of an old program. The Board of Governors Grants has essentially accomplished that for the first year, and it will now be known as the
California Promise.
But it's for everybody now.
Yeah,
1 year,
right.
because before you had to qualify for the BOG waiver.
Right.
People still do, but now anybody can get it for the first year.
Right.
It's cool. Another one is Senate Bill 54, which is the sanctuary state bill that applies to all public agencies and regulates how we can communicate with the federal government and what information we can and cannot have. So that did pass. The governor signed it. And then Senate Bill 169 did not pass, and I was personally really disappointed about that. That would have been a state mandate to have us implement policy on sexual assault and sexual harassment. And Senator Hannibal Jackson was the principal author of that. So I thought that was disappointing it didn't pass. There was a lot of support for it from the students and from just many different organizations that advocate for this issue. So I hope that she reintroduces it next year.
Do you know
If she
Senator
is?
Jackson?
I don't know if she is.
Will.
She will, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she did, last time she did with the
I have no idea
paid
what
leave.
she'll say, but I know she'll do that.
She'll do it.
Yeah.
No, I trust her. She's the best. Okay, well, any other board reports? Mary Ann?
Yes, listening to the conversation, I realized I didn't mention 2 things that were critical issues. The one is parking, both groups. Goleta is beginning, as you probably have noticed if you've driven through Goleta recently, it's popping. There are new large buildings being built all the way around Goleta. Industrial buildings or office buildings. And the parking is beginning to get tight. Isla Vista, of course, is struggling with that issue and has struggled for several years. And all I'm bringing it up for now is because Halloween is coming, and Isla Vista is working very hard to make sure that it's a safe Halloween for everyone in Isla Vista, and this year so is Goleta. Because it's becoming more and more shared issue.
Yeah, I like how we are allowing our students to park on campus for the weekend, to not have their cars get damaged. I don't know if that's happened before, but
I think it's new.
new. That's excellent. A better rate than UCSB, not to call them out. Item 6, the consent agenda. So at the consent agenda, just to explain to the public who might be watching, we have a list of items that we regularly approve and they're non-controversial, so we bundle them into one motion essentially, but if any trustee wants to pull any of these, they're more than welcome to, and we'll discuss it individually. And we'll be doing consent agenda for Section 7, Section 8, and Section 9. So if anybody has anything to pull from the consent agenda, state it now.
I don't have anything to withdraw from the consent agenda, but I would like a little discussion about our 2 proposed study abroad programs. I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but just a word or 2 about who's doing that and what it all entails.
Yeah, we can quickly pull them and then just have that word once we pass everything else.
Well, let's see if do we have the personnel here to do that?
Jens, would you be willing to talk a little bit about that, or I'm not sure Dr. Jarrell isn't here, we don't have Corolla, so I don't know.
We could probably do it at the next meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do.
Yeah, I would like to hear.
Yeah, you can pull.
In the
we can
past,
talk.
we've had presentations from after the fact. It
Yeah.
would be kind of cool to.
It's not that we wouldn't be wanting to approve it, you know.
I did Google
No,
them.
we
They're
just
from
were
San
curious.
Francisco.
So we could give you a report, like you say, after the fact, if that's what you would
That
like.
would be fine, or even at our next meeting, a next meeting.
Yeah.
I just happen to support study abroad as one of the greatest gifts in the educational process.
It is.
The other day, I'd been called by two of my former students who had gone to China with me in 1987, and they're working together to put together a 30-year reunion. And that's kind of hard for me to think in terms of the chronology of all that, but it was very gratifying just to see them and to think that something very special happens on a study abroad program. And it has to do with the development of community where students stay together, they help each other. That goes for virtually anything that they're doing, including studying, and I saw that with my own eyes. So I want us to feel good about, and not only feel good about, but to understand what goes on in our study abroad programs.
Yes, okay, we'll do that next meeting, but not pull it today, right?
Great.
You're good, okay. So, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Craig, motion, we have a second? Peter? All right, all in favor of approving the consent agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Everybody voting nay? All right, consent agenda passes. We are blasting through today. Easy. All right, so section 10, now we have resolutions. I think we've bundled these together in the past, but we could also discuss them individually. They're not huge, but is there anybody who any reports for any of these from staff?
No, we don't have separate reports for these.
separate
These are pretty
reports.
standard.
Pretty
I mean, these
standard
are what
ones.
we've done in the past. I mean, they're just kind of, rollover, if you will.
Cool. Do we have a motion to bundle and approve all resolutions?
So moved.
Peter, do you have a second?
Second.
Craig, first and second crew today.
I know, I got this.
Action going.
All right. All those in favor of
I think
approving?
we have to
Oh,
have
we're
a roll call.
roll call.
My
Even
turn.
better. Yeah.
Trustee Abud,
Aye.
Trustee Kugler,
Aye.
Trustee Bloom,
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo,
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen,
Aye.
Trustee Hasland,
Aye.
Student Trustee Pambici.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion passes. All resolutions approved. Thank you, Angie. All right, we're done, almost. Items for future board consideration. So study abroad is definitely one of them. Is there anything else anybody would like to add on the future agenda that we can take note of, Craig?
Well, you're kind of on that subject of the study abroad, and I'm a big proponent of student exchanges and other organizations and being involved in that thing. And there's an organization called the Educational Foundation that people can take tours with. Students, teachers, whole families, whatever, can avail themselves. And we have these discussions or questions to come up with, and it's almost always very positive with us about our foreign students coming here and how that affects the students on campus. And for that part of that subject that is similar to study abroad programs, a broader look at the benefits on what our students learn when they go abroad on these programs and the effect it has on them, and the effects that it has on the foreign students that come here. And how does that affect the rest of our student body and enhance things? And what are those general things? I think it's really important to take a descriptive viewpoint or picture of what's going on and why it's a positive thing. And
Well, I appreciate you
think
bringing
I think
that
it's
up.
worthy of some conversation,
I
just
think
looking at it.
you're absolutely right. I think it's an educational moment, and I fully support the idea of let's talk about that. And I know that I could get some help from the academic senate and the other folks that could help add to that conversation.
Yeah, Yeah, no, that's a good one. In terms of the upcoming meetings to be scheduled, a lot of these have been sitting here for a while. Is there anybody is particularly interested in accelerating on the list of to be scheduled? No? Okay.
No, but you asked for additional, might it be
Any
appropriate to have a report on the status of our new building, and if something has changed and when we can open the doors? And
Well, one of the things that we were going to do with the retreat is actually give you a tour of that
Yeah.
and give you the full meal deal in terms of the report.
Right.
So you're right on target.
I like that.
We
A
got
month
it.
and 2
I
weeks.
hope you video that because I can't be here for the retreat.
We'll tell you how nice it is.
I'm sure we can arrange a special tour for you, Craig.
Somebody will walk around with the video camera.
Well, I mean, I know you're both still, hitting the ground running, you and Mr. Matsuoka, but the joint board meeting with, CARP and Santa Barbara Unified, I think that's kind of long overdue. And it would be nice. I know our faculty continue to work with them. I know they're meeting on Monday for math, and they're, pushing forward with the work that they've already been doing organically on the ground, but that high level of our goals and their goals, and we haven't had that in, two.
Been a while.
Good idea.
Year and a half.
So that
We'll
one,
move that up.
if
That's
you
a good
guys
one.
can move it up.
I recall,
Okay.
on that subject, I recall the first joint board meeting we had with the high school districts, the school districts, and there was like a taboo subject. It's like we don't want to talk about, the amount of re-education we have to do about there's the students that come to us, need all these remedial classes, and yet they graduated from high school. And, I don't know how to introduce that topic, but maybe Dr. Beebe can think of a way that we could make that into some kind of topic for discussion. What can we do that we haven't been doing? Because we're doing a lot of stuff, and the college has been, the state, the college, this college has been doing it since its inception. And with testing incoming students and having all these remedial classes, and there's been a lot of things in just the last few years happening across the country, in Minnesota and Florida, doing away with remedial classes, taking different approaches and things, and we're still waiting to see how that comes out. I'm kind of curious, and this college is like ahead of the pack for the most part on a lot of issues, and I'm kind of curious what our local in-house experts think about this, and what do they think about the concepts of changing or altering what we do, or about reasons not to do that. And this, I'd like to see some kind of shared discussion or analysis between us and the districts that feed us, and just in general. So I'll be quiet now.
Right on. Anthony?
Well, a lot of what you're talking about entails the topic of guided pathways, which, as you know,
Right.
Santa Barbara City College is one of 20 of the 114 colleges in the state that is involved with very intently looking at that topic. We're not at the point yet where we'd be able to talk about where we're planning on going, because we're still developing the plan for that. So, but all of the things that you just mentioned are the things that we are taking a deep dive on in terms of trying to figure out how we want to approach it. And there's lots of ways. It's a very complex topic, one that we've been wrestling with in education for,
Yeah.
since the beginning of time in some sense. So not going to be any kind of report that's going to be able to come out on that immediately, but at some point we'll be able to do that for you.
It's on its way.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Peter?
Do we have a meeting scheduled with the Academic Senate anytime soon?
We haven't set a date for any kind of a meeting with them. We needed to discuss what kind of topics we're talking about and that kind of a thing.
Well, I would support the idea. I think we should go ahead and have that conversation and come up with a time where we could meet together, particularly given the most recent, very clear lack of understanding and confusion. I think I'm eager to do whatever is necessary to make sure that our partners in this educational enterprise understand who we are and we understand who they are, that we're mortals and not super beings. And I'd like to know what the Academic Senate agenda is and what, going forward, and what they hope to see and what their concerns are.
Yes, and it's listed here as Academic Senate and Faculty Association, so yeah,
Mhm.
that would be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
I think the two combined would be great.
And then I actually have one question, because we have talked about this at a few board meetings ago. So we have November 9th as our next regular meeting, but are we going to do the 16th or the last Thursday in November, because we're not doing that conference? Because we're usually not able to do the second meeting.
Yeah, well, the problem with the 16th is that I have a bond oversight committee that day.
Okay.
I can't be at two places at once.
True, very true. Okay, so just the one meeting in November?
As for right now,
this point,
that's
yeah.
what we're gonna say. We'll have to wait and see when Marcia gets back.
Okay, sounds good. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, yes.
Peter is the first again. Any seconds? Let's do someone else.
We will second.
David will second the motion to adjourn. All right, meeting's adjourned, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick one today, 4:50.
That was good.
You know,
That doesn't
There's
happen
an-
very often.